Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and all my friends. After invocation of the Divine Feminine yesterday morning, this morning we are going to talk about the greatest law, the law of wheel, the law which turns back like a wheel, and all the creation goes back to the degeneration and the chaos, and it collapses on itself, which is known as pralaya in the wisdom tradition of ancient India. And what does it mean by pralaya is the total annihilation. When the whole universe, the material universe, will be dissolved into back again its primal condition. When everything and all the associations and all the cooperation and all the collaboration of the universal material world and the creation will be dissolved into the primal substance. But as this law says, that everything dissolves back again. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a way out for this. And the way out has to be the wisdom, has to be the experiential wisdom transformed into the evolutionary wisdom. And that wisdom is available to us through the myths and through the stories of the past religions, and the wisdom tradition of India has many of those. But we have to go deep into the essence of these stories. We have come to this state in 21st century that we have achieved the singularity of science and technology, of the development and of the material evolution. As the Mother Nature established the immortality of the life principle through genetic lineage and genetic heritage, so we began there. We started our journey with a genetic immortality. And this genetic immortality is given to us by nature, by Mother Nature. And to understand this, Mother Nature gave us the greatest machine, the greatest instrument of understanding and the self-knowledge. And how could we do that? Because our mind can have the correspondence with any phenomena of the universe. And through this correspondence with any polarity, any phenomena in the world of material universe, our mind can understand and go deeper into the essence of any phenomena. We have that gift. So through our intelligence and through our experiential wisdom, we could very safely conclude that Mother Nature gave us the genetic immortality, which we received in the form of the genetic heritage. We have the genetic heritage from all the humanity. As I ask you to get your DNA tested, if you have problems with your separatism, with your individualism, and all kind of boundaries, you will discover that you have cousins spread all over the planet. And you are related to the whole humanity. It will help to develop the consciousness, the cosmic consciousness. And we have the great institution of scientific knowledge, the Dharma of truth. I call science as the Dharma of truth. Because with the help of science, we could use our five senses to feel it through observations, through scientific observations, and we could feel the whole phenomena in ourselves. That's the greatest help of the scientific knowledge and the dharma of truth. So the great tradition which is started by the great rishis and the great yogis of ancient India, of the dharma of truth, and the same yogis, I believe, were reincarnated again. They came back again to establish the institution of science, the institution of scientific knowledge. So they manifested the dharma of truth in the Western world as the great scientists. It's a long story. It's a long chain of evolutionary urge, of Shiva Sankalpa. The evolutionary urge of a lotus to come out of the mud and be beautiful like a lotus flower and become the seed of the divine attributes, the God. As you see, all the gods of Hindus and Buddhists and Jains, they all have the seat of a lotus, because lotus is the symbol of that evolutionary urge. And Lord Shiva's tri-spear, the trishul, is the symbol of that evolutionary urge, that lotus bud. And all the universe is based on the benevolence, on the Shiva Sankalpa, Shiva Sankalpa, the Shiva merge, the lotus urge to evolve. But as I said, the law of evolution and the law of the ultimate excellence, this wheel turns back into self-destruction and the total annihilation, pralaya. But we have a choice. As we have reached the singularity of the science and technology, and we are at the verge of, we are at the point of where this wheel will turn back into self-destruction, into the pralaya and the collective suicide. But we have a way out. And this way out is so beautifully narrated and so beautifully depicted in the great story of Mother Goddess. As we talked about the invocation of the divine feminine, there had been a time that it happened with the gods also, where the male polarity was useless, ineffective. And when the male polarity was defeated by this demon, Mahishasur, the male buffalo is the symbol of Mahishasur. This great demon, which was born out of the evolutionary excellence, the ultimate evolutionary excellence, when the wheel started going towards the darkness, the great journey from tamso ma jyotirgamaya, from darkness to the light. And when we reach to the ultimate light, the wheel turns back towards the darkness. And this Mahishasur, the demon, represents that turning back of the wheel towards the darkness. And it happens to all the civilizations, whether it was India, whether it is Iranian, whether that was the Russian excellence or the German excellence or the French or the American, the European and the Roman. In one breath, we can take the names of all the great civilizations like the Mayans and Aztecs and the Egyptians, all reached the heights of excellence, but then all went away somewhere through the self-destruction, through the collective suicide. because the wheel turns back towards the darkness. But we have a choice. We have a choice. And when it happened with the gods, this demon, Mahishasura, defeated all the gods, whether those were the greatest, Vishnu or Brahma or Shiva or all the gods, were powerless in front of Mahishasura, because the wheel is supposed to turn back. This is the law of the material universe. Eventually, the chaos rule. Eventually, every organization and every association breaks down. And the material universe is the manifestation of the universal cooperation and collaboration, the associations, associative creation. So what they do, what the gods did, when the gods became so powerless and so ineffective in front of the Mahishasura, they went to Mother Goddess. That was the last refuge. That was the last hope to go to the Mother Goddess. As we invoked, as we talked about the great invocation of the great Isis, the great divine feminine, the great Mother Goddess, yesterday morning. So my dear brothers and sisters, we have to go to her now, because this male polarity is ineffective, is suicidal, and it will help this wheel to turn back towards the darkness, the dark ages, from evolution to devolution. As it happened to every other civilization, whether we call that Christianity or the Islam, or we call that Hindus, or what happened to the Buddhist glory and what happened to the Roman civilizations and everybody, the wheel turns back. So when all the gods went to Mother Goddess, the Mother Goddess said, "Oh, you great gods, you carry the great weapons. I don't have any weapons. I only hold a lotus in my one hand. In the other hand, I hold it to bless everybody, and a hand which gives to everyone." The great mother instinct. So when Mother Goddess said, "I'm useless, I'm powerless, I'm weaponless, I don't have any weapons to fight with Mahishasura," so all the gods said, "Okay, we give you our weapons. Because when we hold these weapons are powerless in front of the Mahishasura. So we are not the right owner of these weapons. Oh Mother Goddess, please, you have these weapons." So Shiva gave the tri-spear, the great symbol of evolutionary urge, the evolutionary wisdom. Lord Vishnu gave the Sudarshan Chakra, the great wheel, which survived with the aboriginals of Australia as a boomerang. We will talk about that sometime. The weapon which comes back. And it has the same word. It comes back to your own organ, to yourself. This is the name boomerang. This comes back, hum, rang, and ang comes back. We have so many beautiful symbols all around the world with the humanity, and it's such a pleasure to be the student of the humanity, the great institution of humankind. So Mother Goddess received all the weapons from all the great gods. And when she started fighting with this demon of darkness, Mahishasura, as it is so beautifully explained in the wisdom tradition of India through these three gunas, that the material universe is based on the interplay, inter-exchange and interplay of these three gunas, the tamo gunas, rajo guna and sato guna. When the Satoguna is the highest, the state of the infinite light and truth. When Satoguna is mixed with the Tamoguna, the darkness, the base qualities, the base faculties of the human mind or the universal mind. Because this is the whole journey from Tamoguna to Satoguna. Tamso ma jyotirgamaya. Let me march towards, let me go towards the light from the darkness. This is what the Rishi prays. Tamso ma jyotirgamaya. Let me go towards the light. Astu ma sadgamaya, from the falsehood towards the truth. Let me go towards the truth from the falsehood. Astu ma sadgamaya. Tamso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityutma amritgamaya. Let me move towards, let me go towards the immortality from the mortality. So this wheel turns back towards the mortality. This wheel turns towards the pralaya, the total annihilation, towards the darkness, towards the tamoguna. So we could hold this. And how could we hold that? By creating a new wheel of existence, a new level. And this is so beautifully depicted in the story of Lord Hanuman. When Lord Hanuman went, when he was in Sri Lanka, in the court of Ravana, Ravana didn't offer him the seat to sit down. So Lord Hanuman made a coil out of his own tail, and coil upon coil and coil upon coil, and he made the greatest, highest seat in the court of Ravana. My dear brothers and sisters, when you make a coil, you have a choice to go back around the same circle. But you have a choice to make a coil little bit in diversion, in a higher angle towards the vertical position, towards the ascension. And coil upon coil, I'm saying that you could keep on doing that. And that must be the way out. The knowledge will set us free. So Mother Goddess killed this Mahishasura, the great demon of darkness, the great demon of male ego, the great demon of this cycle of annihilation, the pralaya, the wheel turning towards the darkness, this Mahishasura. And the fight went on, the battle went on between Mother Goddess and this Mahishasura, the demon, the wheel turning back towards the annihilation, the great law of turning back. So all the Srishti, the creation, must go back to the chaos. But Mother Goddess arrested it. And how Mother Goddess destroyed this Mahishasura? When Mahishasura made many, many forms, he was sometimes fighting like a tiger, sometimes fighting like a alligator, fighting like some other forms. And he took all the forms. And finally, he came to this incredible form of a male buffalo. Because male buffalo is representing the male ego, full with darkness, which is the embodiment of the darkness. This male ego, the male buffalo, this embodiment of tamoguna. And this is the polarity of darkness. As we know that light and darkness are the polarity of one phenomena. So this world expresses, the material world expresses in polarities. If there is darkness, there is a light. There is a shadow, there is a light. There is pleasure, there is sorrow. Everything has its own polarity. The two pairs together. So when it went towards the embodiment of darkness, the Mahishasura, this male buffalo, was the final form to fight against Mother Goddess. The embodiment of Tamoguna, the embodiment of the darkness. So Mother Goddess, please have a look back again on the symbol of Mother Goddess fighting with this buffalo, the Mahishasura. It's a great culture in Bengal where you see Mother Goddess fighting with this Mahishasura, this buffalo, and she chopped the head of Mahishasura with the help of the tri-spear of Shiva, the symbol of evolutionary age, the symbol of evolutionary wisdom of Lord Shiva. Because as we know that Lord Shiva is the embodiment of the universal welfare. So this evolutionary urge and the evolutionary wisdom is the wisdom of Jagat Kalyan, the wisdom of universal welfare and the universal goodness and universal benevolence. So that tri-spear was the only weapon which could chop the head of this great demon of darkness, Mahishasura. And the battle was over in this form. And the Mahishasura was annihilated, was destroyed by Mother Goddess. So this is the beginning when we could kill this Mahishasura, the male ego, the darkness, which is moving towards the darkness, and we are sitting on the pile of atom bombs and the hydrogen bombs and neutron bombs. My dear brothers and sisters, we need the help of divine feminine Mother Goddess. And this Mother Goddess has another symbol, my dear brothers and sisters, and that is the tongue coming out, the red tongue coming out of the great Mother Goddess. And this is again the symbol of Ark of Covenant. All my Christian friends and all my Jewish friends are searching the Ark of Covenant. They are searching all over the planet. Where is that Ark of Covenant disappeared? My dear brothers and sisters, let me tell you this mystery today, this morning. The Ark of Covenant is our own tongue, which is hiding in ourselves, in our own mouth. And as it said in the Holy Bible, in the Gospel of John, in beginning there was the Word, and Word was the God, and Word was with the God. This is the Ark of Covenant. So the Word is very important. We created the whole world. The whole creation of the phenomenal world and the material world is based on the vibration. And we create the vibration and the sounds with our Ark of Covenant, our own tongue. And when our mind could see and understand this mystery of this Ark of Covenant, of the tongue, a Mother Goddess brings out that tongue to show to the man, the male ego, the watch your word. She is showing and demonstrating to the humanity, watch your word. Because we have now the whole jungle full of unnecessary words. We have full forest. We have created a whole jungle of darkness through the dark words. The words of all kind of tricks, all kind of smartness. Like, I would like to give an example of WMD, the weapons of mass destruction. The WMD was the word used by American strategy to destroy Iraq and Saddam Hussein. This was the word they used. My dear brothers and sisters, there were no weapons of mass destruction with Saddam Hussein, which was discovered later on. And this was implanted in the media, and it was spread all over the humanity. All the minds of the humanity was seeded by this word of WMD, just to justify the great loot or the Mesopotamian civilization on that museum where they took away the greatest artifacts of Mesopotamian civilization. I'm sorry to tell you this fact, but the word is so important. So with one word, they destroyed the whole of Iraq and the Mesopotamian civilization and the heritage. Doesn't matter about Saddam Hussein, he was just a new baby, born. But the Mesopotamian civilization and the museum and those artifacts were the treasure and the property of whole humanity and the whole humankind. And destroying those properties of the museum of Mesopotamian civilization by the American army is the greatest crime committed in the modern times. So one word, WMD, destroyed the Iraq. So the word is very important. Our Mother Goddess is showing that tongue out and telling the male ego that please, watch your tongue. Please don't create the atmosphere of violence, because we create the violence through words, through our thoughts. And thoughts are translated into the vibration in our mind, is translated into this vibration through our tongue, the Ark of Covenant. And this Ark of Covenant is the covenant of God and the humanity. That if we could watch this word, then we could make another higher coil. We don't have to go around and the wheel doesn't have to turn towards the total annihilation, and we could begin a new coil, a new creation and the new civilization and the new evolutionary urge and the evolutionary journey towards the heaven. On this coil of Lord Hanuman, the coil made out of higher and higher coils made out of the tail of Hanuman. In the court of the great demon Ravana, because our own mind is Ravana. And let me tell you this, in one sentence I'm going to describe you the Ramayana. This body is Hanuman, and good mind is brother Lakshmana, and bad mind is demon Ravana. And Sita Ram, the Sita and Rama, the great urge of dharma, the great embodiment of code of conduct and Maryada, Purushottam Ram. That embodiment of Maryada, that embodiment of dharma, that great couple, the Ardhanarishwara, the great unity into Par-Brahma consciousness, the cosmic consciousness and the universal consciousness is Sita Ram. And when Lord Hanuman was asked by people in the court of Lord Rama, he opened up his own chest and he showed everybody the great Rama and Sita within. So we have the God within, the image of God, the Ram and Sita in our own body. And this body is Hanuman. And this great battle of Lakshmana, the good mind and bad mind, is the whole story of Ramayana, my dear brothers and sisters. So we have the symbols spread it all over the planet with the different religions, and let's be the student of humanity, the humankind. And let's use and put this evolutionary urge, this evolutionary wisdom, which we receive from our experiences and the great chain of heritage from our ancestors, which we received in our own genome, the great seeds of this wisdom, experiential wisdom, which we received from our ancestors, we could process that experiential wisdom into the evolutionary wisdom and start a new coil. Instead of destroying ourselves and going for the collective suicide, So I call upon the male ego, I call upon all those men who love their male chauvinism, who are who are discriminating the divine feminine, the other half, the other part. But let me give you a warning, and let me give you this prediction that only Mother Goddess will save the humanity, the divine feminine. And I want to call upon the women and the other half, the female gender, that please take this high seat of the guru, the first and the foremost guru of the humankind and the human child, because you only can teach the human child the best of the divine attributes, and you are the guru to transform this human child into the divine child and usher in the great age of divine humanity. We need you, Mother Goddess. We need you, divine feminine. We need you, great guru. Oh Mother, please do come and help us. Otherwise, this wheel will turn into the total annihilation of the planet Earth. And we need to make this new coil of the higher evolution with the wisdom of Lord Hanuman's tale. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to remind everybody, and I do want to remind even Mother Goddess, and I do want to remind the great Mother, who is our first and foremost guru, that please watch your words. This turn is for both the genders, for male and female, that she has to watch her words, that she doesn't speak a single word which will be detrimental to the evolution of this human child into the divine humanity. So, O Mother Goddess, O the great Guru, O Mother, please watch your words. So I call upon the parents from all over the planet. After talking all the gods and symbols of gods and all kind of talks, the final message is that every parent, every woman and man must take this cosmic responsibility to raise their child, the great human child, the great innocent soul of a human child. You must raise the human child as the divine human being. And you have this cosmic responsibility on your shoulders. So this great cosmic responsibility is with you both as the parents of the human child. And please teach those divine attributes of universal empathy, love and compassion without any conditions, unconditional, all-inclusive compassion to your child, so we could start a new coil, a new higher evolution. We could move to, after killing this Mahishasura, the male ego, and managing this male ego into the new evolutionary age and the new evolutionary beginning. Thank you very much, my dear brothers and sisters and all my friends, and have a very, very beautiful morning, my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.